You're listening to the Tribe Nail Tech podcast, where nail techs find inspiration and motivation to take their career to the next level. We welcome you here. Now tribe up and slay your day. Here is your host, Becky Bunnell.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Tribe Nail Tech podcast. I'm so happy and excited that you're here today. Today's episode is sponsored by Sojel Nails, and I have my guest today, DeAnn Damron. Welcome, DeAnn.
Hello.
How are you?
We're doing good over here. How are you doing?
Good. I'm so glad you agreed to be on today. And first of all, let everybody know a little bit about you. So if you want to start and tell us all about DeAnn.
Okay. I have done nails for going on 12 years. I went to nail school when I was still in high school as the start of my cosmetology program. It was not part of my plan at all, but thank goodness the teachers at USU Eastern was like, no, start nails. And now it's the biggest part of my life. I am the Sojel educator for carbon counting and surroundings. I've been doing that now since 2016. I love to educate. It was my main goal going into cosmetology is becoming an educator in the college and as like my favorite product too. And then I just recently had a brand new baby. So I've slowed down in the salon quite a bit. I used to work in the salon 60 hours a week, full day. It was my life commitment and baby changed that, but she likes the salon too. So we go there quite a bit. I've been married for, I say 12 years, but it's not been 12 years. I've just lived with my husband for 12 years. And I have now recently become the new main educator at USU Eastern. I work there. Well, I work there almost every day, but I work there 2 nights a week and teach the nail program. Mm-hmm. And it's part of the cosmetology program. So we get some people that just do nails and some people that do the full cosmetology program. That's about it.
I love it. So me and DeAnn have a lot in common. I was also an instructor at the college when it was actually before that, when it was College of Eastern Utah. So we were kind of discussing that a little bit before we started recording today, that we both were able to teach there. So it's awesome.
Yes, it's great.
I love it. So in today's episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about education for those of you out there that are listening that maybe dabble in nails, you're a DIYer, and you've thought about going to school. Obviously, every single state is different and requires different hours, and internationally is way different because they have to certify in each module and get certified in that as a nail tech. But here in the States, we typically take the nail education program. Each state is a different set of hours. Then when you complete that, you go take your state board. So you usually have a practical and a written exam. And if you successfully pass those, then you are issued a license. So today I want to talk about a little bit about educating and the difference between going to a school and apprenticing under somebody. So DeAnn, tell me what, first of all, how many hours for someone that goes to a nail school in Utah, if they want to become licensed nail tech, what's the process for that? How many hours is that? And typically what does it entail? Like what's their curriculum kind of day in, day out? And how does that look for you as an instructor? What do you do day in and day out?
So with USU Eastern, it's a university, but we have the tech program as well. And the good thing about that is starting this year at some point, if it's a tech program, their tuition is going to be cut in half. Mm-hmm. So it's going to, like in our area, that's really nice because we have a ton of tech programs, mechanics, aviation, things like that. So when you don't have to pay full tuition anymore if you're going to tech program. So you have to pay your tuition and then we offer you a kit and you pay for your kit. Then you're going to start school. We run a night program at our school. It's a 300-hour class. It's over 16 weeks. Now we have started, we're pretty fast paced at first. you learn your basics, manicures, pedicuring. Then we go into a little bit more extensive spa work there. We do hot oils, we do paraffins, we do spa pedicures. We teach them different kinds of procedure so they can offer what they want. They can upgrade how they want. And we teach them upgrades and stuff like that and how you need to pamper your clients and do what your clients would like. And then it goes into where wraps aren't on state boards anymore. We dabble. I showed them how to do wraps, stuff like that, just so they're kind of knowledgeable in all the things. Then you have dips, you have gel polishes, and then you get into your enhancements, and we do acrylics, pink and whites. We learn 3 different acrylics. They have to have odorless on their state board. So we do the odorless first, of course, and we focus on that quite a bit because our main focus in school, of course, is that state board examination.
Right.
That's what we're required to help them pass, is that state board examination. So, but we want to offer them extras too, of course, because if you go and get educated, especially in a school setting, there's not a lot of personalization to it. You have to pass the state board. That's our main focus. So we go in, we learn tip blends, we learn the sculpted nail, and we learn that red polish and make it perfect and stuff like that. And then we work into different kinds of acrylics. In our school, we go into absolute and CND just so they know the consistencies, and the dry times are so different. And they can bring something in and we can show them whatever they want. If they say, hey, this is popular right now on social media, I would love for them to just bring it in so we can show them like, this is proper way, this is proper technique. So now with gel being such a big thing now, is we really want to focus on over half of our 16 weeks. We have started doing gel. So, we might start with poly gel just so they can have their consistency. And then we are Sol-Gel school. So we go right into Sol-Gel, and that's what I want to teach them. I want them to be perfect at it. I want them to be certified when they leave. And I want them to be able to offer their clients the best of their abilities from school. Not, oh, she's new, let's wait a few years or something like that. I want them to be the best that they can be as soon as they leave that school.
Right.
And then, so with services in the school setting, is they have to do so many of each service. And so they have their little timesheet and stuff like that. They do so many of each service, and that's mainly so they can perfect it and practice it in school. It's not necessarily like a state requirement to do so many services in school, but we have a large amount of services due in our school so they can be perfect at what they are going to do.
Awesome.
So our day out is we have theory for an hour and a half, 4 days a week, and have lab the next 4 hours. And they do have a small break there. With that lab being 4 hours long now, it really lets us demo. We call them in demo and do days. So we demo and we do. We partner up and we do it. And then the next one time that week is a client day, and then they do what they have learned that week. Once we get to the point where they're doing multiple services, they have to treat that demo day like a client day. I want them to run it just like a salon ship. They tell me how long they want their client scheduled. They tell me that it takes them a half hour or an hour. I want them to learn how to schedule and do it in that time frame.
Awesome. Yes, I think that's really important. So that sounds pretty similar to kind of how it was run when I was there. I remember doing that in the services and working on each other, and it was still a night shift. And so pretty much how do you guys work tardies, absences? Like it sounds like you've got the 16 weeks you said, and are they pretty much like they need to be there every day? Like what if they miss a day, or how do they make up those hours? Like how does that work as being in a school?
So with that is I tell them that this is they need to be committed to these hours, that we cut it pretty close. I do have outside assignments. I do have things like that it teaches them things mainly in the theory. With outside lab, it's kind of hard just because we have to take pictures and we can't really examine how their work is. And it's usually on a plastic finger. And so it's such like influenza season, let's say right now. I've had a girl that can't come to school. So I've just been working with her, making sure her homework is turned in and trying to go over it the best I can with her. But I'm going to have to catch her up next week. And that takes away from other students' time. So with the absences and stuff, if you have 5 absences, it will lower your grade 1 grade level, and you have to graduate at 75%, so a C plus, or you have to come back. And with the theory end of that, that's very important. They'll usually drop that theory grade a lot quicker than that lab grade.
Mm-hmm.
And they can catch up lab, because when we're in this industry, I feel like our brains work that way. We can do that a lot easier than learn it without being taught it. So they just have to be really, really committed to that school schedule. And
Right.
they have been. And this, I try to give them leniency, and we do a lot of community events that helps us with that leniency in those hours and stuff like that. And in the community events, it's not like they're just going out and doing some random thing. It's manicures, it's pedicures, it's helping elderly with their nail care, stuff like that. That's very important. So they can earn things like that if they happen to schedule a vacation or a wedding or something that's just has to happen. Yeah. And then we run 2 Saturdays that is full client days. And so they learn how to run a full 8-hour client day. And also, I also try to run the schedule. Like right now, our schedule says 328 hours. So a snow day happens, or something in the school is leaking. It gives us a little bit of there that we can do that. So that's 28 hours extra. But, we just do that. We'd rather be there 28 hours extra, and we'll tell them, hey, we've hit 300 hours, but how would you guys feel about coming next week? And let's just practice what you want to be practicing. And especially if they've all licensed already and they're ready, what do you want to be offering in the salon? What do you want to learn and perfect even more so? So that's where those 28 hours extra is. I'd rather give those girls 28 hours extra and let them know that they're leaving the school at a comfortable place to be in the salon.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing is like, I totally agree with you when you said our job as instructors to get people licensed, it's to pass those state boards. It's first and foremost, that's just the way it is. And I don't know how many times I hear over and over again from different nail techs that have recently graduated or whatever. And they're like, I feel like I didn't learn anything in school. I feel like all I did was learn how to pass the state boards. And I confirm that with them. I'm like, that's our job, is to get you to pass the state boards. As sad as that is, sometimes I feel like our program could be a lot more hours in Utah, and maybe that'll change. There are some states that are like 1,200 hours, 650, and we have the 300 or the 375 if you're doing apprenticeships. So it's a lot, because I tell everybody it's what you learn after school that really makes you the nail tech you are. I say that over and over and over again. Your education doesn't stop when you're done with school. It's just beginning.
Yep. I always push continued education. It doesn't matter if I teach you all the so-gel in the whole world. I would hope you would go out and continue your education on that. Or if you love CND, or if you're not comfortable with your electric file, I want you to go get certified in those things. I want you to get every bit of information from different people teach different ways. Go learn what they have.
Yes. And I also say, like, I'm dedicated to so-gel. Like, that's the hard gel that I use on every single client. I don't vary on my product. But I've been to a light elegance class. I'm thinking of taking a young nails class. And for me, it's not because I probably won't use their product. I don't know, maybe I will, but it's because you can learn something from every company. And 26 later, I'm still learning. You never stop learning. I tell people all the time, once you stop learning and think that you know it all, then you should be done, because you're going to get lost. You're going to get lost in the industry. You've got to constantly be learning. And like I said, if I can go to a class and learn one new thing from them, it was worth it to invest in myself and to invest in my career. So I definitely agree with that. I'll talk a little bit about apprenticeships. So currently I have 2 students, and so I'm offering apprenticeships at my new salon and education center, which is pretty exciting. So how it works in Utah is it's 375 required hours, and pretty much the same thing. Like I get all the manuals. They have to have 37.5 hours of the reading and studying before they can start. So I have them do that. I think a lot of difference between that and the school is I don't stand up in front of a classroom and say, okay, today we're on chapter 1 and this is what we're discussing. And I don't go through it up on the whiteboard, and pretty much their books is theirs to study on their own at home, and that's their responsibility. I give them the work book, I give them the testing book, and so that studying, is kind of on their own, that they have to study that book. They come in day one. Also, we did manicures and pedicures in one day. And then I turned around and I said, okay, hands on, let's have you do it on each other, this and that. So kind of the same concept. I break it into the little classes. I demo the odorless acrylic. I demo the hard gel, the gel polish manicures, all those things. And then they see what I do. They can pull chairs up and they watch me work my 8 hours a day, day in, day out, how I actually hands-on do that with every single client, how I rebook them, how I take phone calls, how I reschedule, just kind of like the troubleshooting. If this person has a pocket lift, it's like, hey girls, this is a pocket lift. This is what it looks like. This is what you need to do to fix that. This person chipped off half of their nail. We can either clip it off and start over, or we can, cut it back and rebuild it out. So they get the day in, day out of watching me, of what I do as a nail tech. And then their responsibility to bring in models and to bring in clients. And then they do them there. And then I'm there watching them. When they're done with a client, they bring it over to me and they show me what they've done. I critique them. I tell them what they could do different, what they need to do better. And so they learn all that. They learn how to do the towels. They learn, like I said, just all those different things. I encourage them to build up their social media platforms and to start advertising and posting their work, taking a before and after picture, because now we know today's day and age, that's pretty much how we get our clients, is social media. It's just huge. So I try to encourage them how to do those different things, but they learn the sanitation, they watch, just all of that. So it's a little different. There's, like I said, 2 different ways in Utah of how to get your license and to get your hours. So 375 hours for the apprenticeship, and same thing when they're done, we help them figure out, okay, how we pack the kit and what supplies we need to take to our state boards. There's practice tests they can do online to get ready for their theory test. And every day I'm signing off on hours, probably just like you do in school, signing off that they've been there in the different services and if they had any clients. And then we prepare them and get them ready. And hopefully they go and pass their state boards and get their licenses. So 2 different ways in Utah. Not every state, I don't think every state allows apprenticeships either. I'm not 100% sure, but it's usually more hours to do an apprenticeship. So they are kind of different, but they are a lot alike also. But I feel like if people are pretty good with their studying skills, then the apprenticeship, I guess the difference is my girls they're not on a really set schedule. I typically work 3 days a week. And so they do want to be there those 3 days a week. Obviously, they can't get practical hours if I'm not here or you're not there. They have to be in with an instructor. But if they wake up and their kid has the flu, it's just like, hey, I can't come in today. And it's like, okay. So I feel like for sometimes moms, the apprenticeship, if you can make it work, I feel like it's kind of a little bit more flexible because it's not the absences, the grade, all that stuff. It can work around your schedule a little bit easier. But also I'm honest with my girls. It's like, I don't want you to take 6 months because I can't take another apprentice until you're done. So I try to tell them about the same. You probably need to be done within 3 to 4 months. Get your stuff done. Don't just drag your feet. Get in, be serious about it. Be there daily and get your stuff done. And same thing, I just feel like the more hands-on they do, the more models they bring in, the more clients they bring in while they're in schooling, then we have the chance to be able to critique that work so that they're more confident when they do leave. And I'm sure you encourage that too. Like a lot of people are really nervous about bringing people in, but it's like, it's to your value to bring people in because you want to be critiqued. You want us to say, hey, let's do this a little different, because you really don't want the client calling you back and complaining that they hated their nails or this or that. So it's better to have your instructor there telling you what you could do different, in my opinion. So
exactly. And And I mean, I don't know if you do this, so that's a good question. But if somebody calls into the school, we book those people first. They have first priority over, let's say, the people's sister that's coming in, and I just tell them, girls, I've gotten a call. Who wants it? And you can tell the girls that are very, very serious. They're like, I want to do somebody different. I don't want to do my mom again this week. I want that experience. And it's so good to see that, because then hopefully those clients are coming back and saying, look, it's been 2 weeks with this gel polish. Awesome job. It just boosts those girls right up, makes them feel so much more confident in doing a stranger than just doing straight family members through school and things like that.
Yeah. And a lot of times our family is so sweet and so nice that they're like, oh, good job.
Oh, it's all over my skin. Thank you.
But I think there's value in that, because boy, as nail techs, man, you've got to learn how to talk to strangers. If you can't sit down at a table for 2 hours and sit and talk to somebody and strike up a conversation, it's a little bit awkward, right?
Yes. You have to talk about anything. And you have to learn how to talk about personal matters with those clients. And even if you don't agree with it, you just shake your head and say, yes, ma'am.
Yes, dear. Yep. And you just keep working and
yes.
But you have to learn that. I think it's a people skill. Like, you've got to have people skills, and they can be learned. You can learn to be braver, but I think just like doing it over and over again and seeing new people coming in, like I said, not your family, that teaches you those skills to be able to talk with people.
Yes. Like, I think with apprenticing, you can keep more up to date. Like, hey, this is what the world is learning right now. This is what the nail tech world learning right now. And so when I committed to becoming this educator at the college, I thought, I need to look around, how are people getting hired? What are people looking for in this kind of thing? And like you said, social media, and that brought this up to me, is this year we're doing something completely different, because as I also run a salon, I don't look at people's portfolios anymore. You can bring in a black binder. It looks beautiful. Thank you so much. But guess what? I've already stalked you on Instagram. I see what you've done. That's what we're offering now in school is we're running Instagram pages. I'm teaching them pictures. I'm teaching them technology. And USU Eastern has really jumped into that. We've hired technology teacher. Like, you want to go to a school that is up to date as much as possible and is teaching
awesome.
this. It's so great to be like, yes, you have to learn acrylic for this test, but if you want to go out and only do gel, you've got that correct knowledge. If you want to go down the street after you passed your test yesterday and show them your portfolio, you already got 100 pictures on there. Look, I can do a clean polish. I can do an amazing massage. That's what I want them to see is on that portfolio, which is now Instagram or Facebook. It's there. It's updated every single week. And they have it ready to go.
That is so, so important. I am so glad you guys are doing that. And all schools should be thinking about that, because like you said, that's huge. That's your resume right there, is your social media, and teaching them. Yes. It's like, you can throw in a little bit of personal. People want to see your face. We want to, their bios need to be correct. I see so many nail techs doing this wrong. And that's a whole podcast on social media of like how people, how their bios are all messed up and they're not right. And their faces, we want to see their faces. Then we want to see a little bit of personal about, but teaching them how to keep things professional, because that could totally ruin you from getting hired from a job, is your social media.
Yeah, I think it's perfect to be separate. I just barely did this. I've been in it 12 years. I made a separate account last week. And I thought to myself, why haven't I? And you know why I did is because I'm teaching these girls, they want to, these people want to see my cute little baby, but I have 40 baby pictures and one nail picture because that's just what I've been doing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm teaching them to keep it separate, but together I'm creating myself a separate nail education program page, and they can see that, hey, she has a family. She's a blonde chick from Emory County, but here's her nails. And this is personal, but business as well.
It's so perfect. And that's what I tell my girls. Take the before picture of their hands when they sit down. Take that after when they leave, but also take the after when they come back that shows, look at this. She has all 10 nails on. Look at this. It's been 4 weeks and she doesn't have any lifting. Like, people want to see that. When they see that kind of stuff on social media, they're going to be like, wow, I want to go to her. Like, seriously, a gel polish manicure lasted that long, or, and their clean work. So I love that. And I don't know how much do you guys get into nail art very much?
Nail art is so big right now, the stamping, the foils, the chromes and stuff. And the girls always worry about the nail art part. They're like, I'm not good. I can't draw. I can't write. Da, da, da. I always tell them, guess what comes? Your clients see that you have the sticking power, the lasting power. Your nails are lasting 2 weeks. In a month, when you say, I've got my stamping down, they're going to care way more that their nails have stayed on.
Right.
And you can practice that nail art. You get that nail art under your belt a little bit later, but you get the staying power and the cuticle lines and the smile lines. Get those. And then learn how to write love on the fingernail. Learn how to draw a perfect heart, a perfect star. Learn your stamping procedures, stuff like that. That will come and clients will stick with you and they'll let you practice that kind of stuff if their nails are lasting 4 weeks.
Don't you think that's so important? I think too many people focus on the nail art. I do.
Yep.
And if you don't have the structure, you don't have the good nails that stay on, it doesn't matter how good you are at art.
No.
People aren't going to come back to you. Like you said, that can come. You can see all that stuff on YouTube. You can catch up on all that stuff later. You can take lots of classes for that, but learn the basics, learn your sanitation, your structure. How do you keep nails on? Like your proper prep, your e-filing, like learn that stuff. It's so important and everything else will come.
Exactly.
And I tell people all the time because they're like, oh my gosh, you're such an artist. And I'm like, no, I'm not really an artist, but it's kind of funny how dots and lines and everything connected together turns into something amazing.
And it's funny that they're like, oh, you're an artist. No, I can draw on this much of a thing. Don't give me a piece of paper or anything. I can draw a full scene on a nail. But I'm not going to give you a canvas picture.
Nope. That's what I tell them. I'm like, I'm not an artist. I never took any art classes. I don't know how it happens, but connecting different things, it just turns into it. And I tell everybody, and if it doesn't turn into it, just add glitter and it solves all your problems.
Yeah, exactly. Bling it out. It looks perfect.
Just add glitter. And you know what? Just say, oh my gosh, I love it. And your clients are going to say, oh, I love it too. Don't ever say,
perfect.
oh my gosh.
Like you did that.
Yeah, I hate that. Oh my gosh, that looks horrible. And then your clients are like, oh crap. Yeah. But if you say you like it, they're like, I like it too. So I love it. Well, DeAnn, I'm so glad you joined me today. And hopefully some people out there will get some good information from this, especially if you've thought about becoming a nail tech and the different ways to do that. And you can search that for your own state. Ours is on Utah Doppel. There's all kinds of rules and laws on there, and you can search that. But you should be able to find that state by state, what your state requires to become a nail tech. And like I said, hopefully we gave some good information today. But and I know I wrote these down, so I will let these, because we always forget when we get put on the spot. It's like, oh, what are my social media links? So I hope everybody out there will search DeAnn's links and follow her, because as I say with Tribe Nail Tech, we rise when we support each other and help each other. And that's my whole movement behind the tribe. And so here is her social media links. On Instagram, you can find her on ed.sogel.by.d. So ed.sogel.by.dee. And then on Facebook, it's Nails by D, Sogel Educator. So I hope you guys look her up, follow her. If you have any questions about anything, you can message her, and I'm sure she would be glad to help you. And anyways, the famous thing I like to say at the end of all my podcasts and all my online lives and everything up is tribe up and slay your day. So thank you, DeAnn, for joining me today, and can't wait.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, DeAnn.
Bye, everyone.
We'll see you.